Elisha was in charge of the school of the prophets. There were several miracles that were associated with those young men. There was the time when one of them died. His wife went to Elisha, said, "Oh, man of God, you know that my husband followed the Lord and tried to honor him in everything he did. He owed some money to a man, and well, now that man is coming to collect. He's going to take my 2 sons and sell them as slaves." The man of God said, "Well, let me think. Surely there's something that I can do to help. Tell me, what do you have in your house that has any value?" "Oh," she said, I don't have anything." I do have a small jar of oil, but that's all." He said, "Go to all of your neighbors and collect as many containers as you can. Not just a few, but as many as you can. When you have enough, take your sons and go into your house and close the door. Then take your little jug of oil and start filling the containers until they're all full." So the woman and her sons went to every house collecting jars and jugs and containers of any kind. When they got all they could, they went into the house and they closed the door. And then the woman started to fill the containers. As soon as one jar was full, she'd set it aside and asked her son to bring her another one. Finally, when she filled the last container, she said, "Son, bring me another jar." He said, "Mother, there are no more." And as soon as he said that, the oil stopped. She ran to Elisha and told the man of God exactly what happened. He said, "Then go and sell the oil and pay your debt, and then you and your sons live on what's left." There was a time when there was a famine so severe there wasn't very much to eat. Elisha came in from a trip, and so all the young men gathered around to hear him teach. At one point, he said to the servant, "Go fix a pot of stew so these young men can eat." One of the young men went out into the forest to gather herbs for the stew. He came to a vine of wild gourds and didn't realize that they were poisonous. He gathered as much as he could carry and brought them back and cut them up and put them in the stew. Some of the men, when the stew was done, they tasted the stew and they yelled, "Watch out, man of God! There's poison in the pot! Don't eat it!" Elisha said, "Bring me some flour." He brought him some flour and he threw it into the pot. Then he said, "Come and eat." So the men ate the stew, and there was nothing wrong with it. A man brought them 20 small loaves of bread. This was the first bread from the harvest. Elisha said, "Bring the young men in so they can enjoy this bread." "Oh, sir, there are 100 men and we only have 20 loaves of bread and they're small. There's not enough for everybody." Elisha said, "Bring the young men in. The Lord says there'll be enough for everyone with some left over." And it was true. The young men ate the bread, and there was enough for everyone. And when they were done, there was even bread left over. There was a time when the young men realized that their facility was too small. So Elisha gave them permission to go down to the Jordan River and cut some logs to build a bigger building. He even agreed to go with them. One of the young men borrowed an axe so he could cut down a tree. As he was working on it, the axe head came off the handle and fell into the water. He said, "Oh, man of God, I borrowed this axe and now it's ruined." Elisha said, "Where did the axe fall into the water?" So the young man pointed to the spot. Elisha cut down a stick and threw it into the water. As soon as he did, the axe head floated. The young man reached down and got it, and he fixed the axe.